and Mildred Lampier are suing Mildred's ex-boyfriend, car repossessor Terry Chance, and his wife Irene for an unpaid loan. The Chances are countersuing for slander and defamation of character.
Quiet in the courtroom, all rise. Yes, case number 28 on the calendar in the matter of Lampier versus Chance. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Oh, I need a scorecard to go over this case, at least to try to explain it to Bird, who I know is going to pay very, very careful attention to the players. Mr. Lampier, it is your claim, along with your wife, this is your wife, that you made a loan to Mr. Chance. I don't know about his wife, but certainly to Mr. Chance in the amount of $2,000. Mr. Chance says that this was not a loan, but a gift. And he is counterclaiming because he says that because he had a relationship with your wife, she decided to be vindictive and call his wife and his children and saying all kinds of nasty things about him. So he's counterclaiming for defamation of his otherwise pure character and slander. Right?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. So what I gather is the two of you were not married.
Right.
Mr. Chance was separated from his wife.
That is correct, Your Honor.
What's your first name?
Mildred.
Mildred and
Terry.
Terry sort of got together.
Yes.
For a brief period of time.
Yes.
Before you and
George
got married. At some point, you needed money for a car.
Basically, yes.
And George gave you the money for the car.
No. The money did come from George. Millie is the one that got the money from George.
You had no contact with George.
Yes, at the time when when I received the money, it did come from George, yes. Millie had set it up.
I don't care who set it up.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
You got the $2,000 from George.
Yes.
And you say George gave you that money as a gift.
Yes.
Okay, George. Tell me how that money came about.
Okay. Mildred and Terry come out the house. Mentioned that he needed some money to buy a car because their car was broke down. And she backed out of the whole picture.
Who backed out?
Mildred.
What do you mean she backed out?
She said it's up to you if you want to loan him the money.
Okay. How did you know, Terry?
That's not true.
Terry?
Yes, ma'am.
You'll have a chance.
Okay.
He was a co-worker with my wife now.
When were you married, by the way?
February 28th.
Now, what discussion, Mr. Lampier, did you have with Terry regarding this $2,000?
He was cashing in his 401k, plus his income tax return was coming back, and he wanted to borrow it for 2 weeks, 3 at the most.
And that's what he told you?
Right.
He told you that, not Mildred. He told you that. And where did you get the money from?
Out of my checking account.
And you remember the date when you gave it to him?
Yeah, March 1st.
When did you first ask him for the money back?
Oh, it was probably 4 weeks into it. 3 weeks.
Did you ask him or did Mildred?
Neither one of us really asked him.
Well, what happened?
He had informed Dee up at the bar one night.
This lady in the green?
Ladies.
Step up. Just a second. Tell me your name.
Doreen Degg.
Miss Degg, you work together with these people?
No, I frequent the bar where they were employees.
And did there come a time when you had a conversation about this $2,000?
Yes, he came up to the table I was sitting at on a Friday night and asked me if George and Millie were coming into the bar that night. And he told me that if I should see them or talk to him, to tell George he had something for him.
Did you see them that day?
No, I did not. I called her the next morning and informed her what he had told me the night before.
Okay. Do you remember that conversation?
I remember speaking to her. It was about getting the message to George that I wanted to talk to him.
That you wanted to talk to him,
yes.
Not that she says you said you had something for him.
I didn't say I had anything for him.
Okay, but that you wanted to speak to George.
Yes.
Well, what did you want to speak to George about?
I wanted to speak to George.
Look at me. Don't look over there.
I wanted to speak to George about the lawsuit papers that my wife had received.
The lawsuit papers?
The small claims papers.
Oh, so they had already sued you for this $2,000.
Right, and what my main question was is why they were going after my wife.
Okay. So you hadn't had any prior discussion prior to being served with the papers with George about anything?
None whatsoever.
Okay, so you were surprised.
Very.
Why were you surprised, sir?
Because we had, I was seeing Millie,
Look
and
over
I was
here.
seeing Millie in a relationship.
No, you're looking up at the ceiling.
I
want you to take your eyes and fix them on mine.
Stress. Sorry, Your Honor.
No, that's not.
I had eye contact.
That's
all righty. I had a relationship with Millie prior to her marriage. She was engaged, supposed to be breaking off the engagement. Things started to get a little out of hand.
Why did you want to talk to George, sir? Why did you tell Miss Daig that you wanted to speak to George?
Because I wanted to know why they were suing me and my wife when nothing was said about that money, about repaying it, about owing it, nothing.
Why would George give you $2,000?
Because Millie's the one that got it out of him.
Well, sir, is that what you wanted to tell George?
I eventually did tell George that.
When did you tell George that, sir?
My main reason for wanting to talk to George was why they were suing my wife. Because my wife had nothing to do with it whatsoever. My wife don't even know these people. Mm-hmm. And she has been put through hell and high water and back because of all this.
So you mean they should have sued you?
Yeah, I was the party involved.
Well, that might be a legitimate question.
And I had said to George when I did see him the next day, I said to him,
So the next day you saw George?
I believe it was.
Good. Tell me about the conversation that you had with him the next day. Tell me what he said to you and what you said to him.
I'll tell you exactly what was said. I said, why are you trying to sue my wife and sue me? He goes, I have nothing to do with it. That's on Millie. Is his exact words.
And you said?
I left.
Didn't say anything else, did you?
I said I left. I went to my attorney.
When did you have the next conversation with him?
I don't believe there was any after that.
Well, according to you, that's a lie, sir. According to your answer, that's not true.
According
to your answer, you had another conversation with him that you haven't told me about.
Okay. Can you refresh my memory?
Shouldn't have to, but I will. I decided that George should know who the woman he married really was. I went to their house and told them about the affair, which he said he had an idea something was going on with us. I also told him about Millie's plan to divorce him. When I did that, Millie started yelling and punching me. Mm-hmm. That was something I would remember.
That was prior, Your Honor. That was prior to that conversation about the lawsuit.
Just a second. What I said to you before was, when was the first time there was any discussion about the repayment of this money? And you said there wasn't. Clearly, that's not true. Clearly, before you got served with a summons, there was a discussion about repaying the money. Because that's when you supposedly, according to you, went to their house. What are you looking at me? Am I speaking a foreign language? Do you speak English?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. George and Mildred Lampier claim Mildred's ex-boyfriend, Terry Chance, and his wife, Irene, owe for an unpaid loan. Terry says his wife has nothing to do with the money.
By the way, I don't really believe you're involved as a defendant in this case, because whatever arrangement was made with your husband.
Yes.
It was a loan! There is absolutely no reason for these people to have given you $2,000. You don't look as if you're that good, sir. Trust me.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
No, listen to me. I listened to you, and you have been unpersuasive in convincing me that these two people made you and the wife that they never met a loan for $2,000 to buy a car. You have been unpersuasive to me. You give your children, maybe, but a stranger, somebody that he knows because his wife-to-be knows you from work, even if she's having a fling with you, it's not a reason to give you $2,000. As I said, you don't look like you're that good. So you owe him $2,000. Now you've got a $4,000 counterclaim. And the $4,000 counterclaim is punitive damages due to slander and defamation. I'm prepared to hear your counterclaim.
Okay. First one being harassment.
No, listen to me. You're supposed to be able to remember what you're suing him for $4,000.
Okay, first one was for harassment, harassing my wife at work, continuous phone calls to my wife at work.
Just a minute. Just a second. Who called you at work?
Mildred.
Mildred. And what did she call to say to you?
She kept repeatedly telling me that she was having an affair with my husband, which we were separated.
And was that very distressing to you?
Yes.
Do you think that was as distressing to you as your husband telling her fiancé and her husband that she was no good and she was having an affair with him?
I'm sure it was.
Right. It's the way it goes.
But
When
this
you
had
fool
nothing to do
around,
with me.
when you fool around, you have to accept the consequences. Put your hand down. What's next?
Second thing is when she said to my 12-year-old son when we had stopped at the house when I had the money in my pocket.
What money?
The money, the $2,000.
What do you mean you had it in your pocket?
No.
Shh, I don't.
I'm sorry.
What do you mean you had it in your pocket?
Millie was with me. We had stopped by because the money was in the form of a check, and I had pulled it out of my pocket because I gave my son some money. Okay, my son had asked me where I had gotten the money, and Millie spoke up, oh, it's your dad's early birthday present, and had made comments that your mom's a worthless and don't know how to take care of you. That's when we were out the door.
Just 1 second. Who was out the door?
Me, Millie, and me. I took her out of the house.
So the two of you left together?
Yes.
Did you give her back the money?
What's that?
What word didn't you understand?
I didn't
She
hear-
had just insulted you and your wife because you were dumb enough to bring her to your home or where your son was in order to give him money that you had just gotten from them. Did you give the money back?
No. If somebody handed you $2,000, said happy birthday, would you give it back?
Your counterclaim is dismissed, Mr. Chance. I would suggest you grow up. How long have you been married?
4 years. We've
4
been
years.
together for 12.
He hasn't gotten any better.
Some of it.
Some of it. Not enough. Not enough. If you hitch your wagon to a falling star, eventually you're going to get caught in the mud. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Your counterclaim's dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,000. Get him out of here. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Revenge has just begun. Revenge has just begun.
Stayed in the hotel a couple of nights. The night before I got married.
Oh, yeah. Before, during, even on our wedding night.
We didn't sleep together because he couldn't perform.
It's far from done and over with.
He told me paybacks are hell.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Donahue versus Heinig, step forward, please.
21-year-old fitness consultant Megan Donahue is suing her ex-boyfriend, 24-year-old construction worker Brian Heinig, and his mother, Ann, for the return of a bedroom set and entertainment system.
Miss Donahue, this used to be your boyfriend, is that right?
Yes.
You have a child with him?
Yes, I do.
How old is that child?
9 months.
Boy or girl?
Boy.
And for a period of time, you lived in Mr. Heinig's home with his mother.
Yes.
And it is your claim that there was some sort of an altercation. You left, and Mr. Heinig refuses to give you back 2 items of furniture that you purchased that belonged to you. Mr. Heinig says that the bed he paid for and that the home theater was given to him. He doesn't say by whom. When did you move out?
April 9th.
And you moved out with your son?
Yes, I did.
Where did you move to?
My house, my parents' house.
When did you go back for your furniture?
April 9th is the last time I've ever been at their house.
When did you tell them you wanted the bed and the home entertainment center?
April 9th.
Okay. Now, what?
Well, I was there. My son was not there when she came back with her sister, and she did want the bed. She made no mention of an entertainment center. She was very emphatic about the bed.
How old is your son?
My son?
I'm 24, ma'am.
He's 24. Is he your youngest?
No.
Let him talk for himself. Let's deal with the entertainment center first, Mr. Heinig.
Mm-hmm.
Who bought it?
We had both bought it.
Who paid for it?
We had both paid for it.
How much did you pay for it?
I'd say $180 at least.
Yeah, I have receipts for everything I paid for and an itemized list of everything that I wanted back. And he did pay, when I was on maternity leave, he did pay part of the bed.
Okay.
And I did pay him back, and there's a council check in here proving
May I
that,
see
I
that,
paid him
please?
back. Yeah, that's all for the bed and everything.
Why did she give you a check in March of 2004 for $600?
I never received the check for $600 in March. We weren't even talking together in March.
Yes, we were. I didn't move out till April 9th.
I never received the check.
Would you show him this?
$600. Oh, this is for the side work I was doing for her dad at the gym when I was rebuilding the gym.
Okay, so that's for work that you did for her father.
Yeah, when they own a gym. And there should be another check somewhere for $350 that they had also paid me.
No. Okay. Now, you say you paid her about $180, sir?
Well, that was for the TV.
How much was the television?
Maybe $240, I don't know, something around there. It was like a 27-inch TV.
Okay.
It wasn't that.
And how much did you pay her towards the bed, which was...
I got $650 towards the bed.
Let us say that everything that you say is true, Mr. Heinig, that you did pay for some part of both the entertainment center as well as the bed. That doesn't mean that you get to keep both.
Understandable.
So how do you want to deal with it?
You know, I don't feel that, you know, I mean, like I said...
I don't know because you're not saying anything. You just comfort.
I don't know, I understand how she justifies that she asked for the entertainment center when the only thing she's ever wanted was the bed.
She's just... Women change their mind.
I'll give her the money for the bed, you know, but I mean, I think that that's the only thing I should give her the money for.
And the television, the entertainment center?
I'll give her the television. She could have it.
Oh, great. So the entertainment center is to be returned to her within 5 days from today's date. You keep the bed, sir. You're going to pay her $750 for the bed. That's all. Judgment for the plaintiff. $750 and the entertainment center within 5 days. Thank you.
His mother can't cut the umbilical cord from her son, and every time I try to solve something with him, she gets involved again.
All I'm interfering with is the fact that I want to see my grandson, which she is denying of me.
When we were trying to work things out, she'd call him about a dozen times when he'd be at my house. Where are you? You need to tell me where you're at all times. Like, she's crazy.
She always takes the blame off of her and puts it on everybody else, and I can accept that.
Actually, he tried to choke me with this purse.
I don't know. Kicking me in the back of the car when our baby's in the car is a little crazy.
You know, he hasn't paid me any child support, even called to see how his son is in the last 2 months, so...
I can't deal with crazy people.
Now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Ward versus Stretch. Step forward, please.
27-year-old bill collector Lahia Ward is suing military technician Tommy Stretch for unpaid babysitting fees, lost wages, and defamation of character. Tommy claims Lahia abused his 11-month-old daughter.
Are you in the military, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
What branch of the military?
I'm in the Navy.
At the time of this incident, your daughter was 11 months old?
Yes, ma'am.
And Ms. Ward, you were a child care provider on the Navy base?
I was, yes.
It is your claim that Mr. Stretch made a report to Child Protective Services. That report, you claim, was filed maliciously by Mr. Stretch and or his wife, causing you lost income. You are suing him for that lost income and for defamation.
Correct.
Mr. Stretch says that he was obligated to file that because he felt as if his child was inadequately cared for at your facility. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
You don't deny that you filed the report?
No, ma'am, I did.
When did you bring your daughter to Mrs. Ward's home?
It was September of last year.
And how long did Miss Ward babysit for your daughter?
The original contract was for 3 days. The incident occurred in the middle of the second day.
Now, in the middle of the second day, what happened, Miss Ward?
His child was a little cranky the whole day. She was laid down for a nap.
How many other children were you caring for that day?
3.
How old were they?
2 2-year-olds and a 1-year-old.
And how many assistants did you have that day?
None.
Did you bring the baby to her house or did your wife?
No, ma'am, my wife dropped her off.
What time?
I don't remember. I believe it was around 7:30.
And what time did you get a call that something had happened with your daughter?
My wife called me approximately between 1 and 1:30.
What time did you discover what you claim was 2 little red marks on the child's face?
At 12:30 when the child woke up from a nap.
Aside from these 2 little red marks on the child's face, I assume you have photographs of that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
I have a video.
There was something else that was discovered when you went to pick up your daughter. What was that?
After I picked her up, I noticed the bruises. I asked Miss Ward, you know, what happened. She explained to me her side of it. And
which was?
The child laid down for a nap and she had overalls on.
And apparently she was very cranky. She wasn't feeling too well. So while she was getting comfortable, she laid apparently on the button on her overall. And that's what caused the 2 little marks. Where the
That's what you think?
Correct, that's what I think.
It's possible. It's also possible she got hit. Now, there were periods of time, for instance, when you went to the bathroom, that you weren't in the room with the toddlers. So it's possible that somebody else hit her. One of the other children hit her, right?
Right.
But according to what I read in the complaint, there was something else that you found. You found a bite mark.
Yes, ma'am. It was on her, I believe it was on her left forearm. I asked Miss Ward about it, why she hadn't said anything to me about it, and it was quite apparent from her response that she had no idea it was there.
How do you explain the bite mark?
When he showed me the bite mark, it did not appear to me that it was done that day.
Why?
It wasn't red. It just didn't look to me like it was done that day. I have children, and I kind of took a judgment on that. You know, at that time...
Maybe it was done the day before.
Could have possibly been.
You have other children?
No, ma'am, I do not.
All right, let me see the video, please.
Bruises from daycare on my child. Left cheek right by the eye. 2 bruises. One nearest her eye with the cut in the middle. This is the outfit she was wearing. That show that better. Daycare provider claims my daughter was sleeping in a crib, and that these buttons, which are smooth metal buttons, claims she slept on them, and that they bruised her face. My daughter also has on her left forearm bite marks, which are starting to go away. The other mark that was left on her is right next to her right ear and on part of her right earlobe.
Look at Mommy.
Pretty little girl. Okay. You did not, I assume, bring your daughter back to Miss Ward
No, ma'am,
after
I did not.
that. So she was with you for about a day and a half. Is that right?
She left at 2:30. Our contract ended at 3:30, so almost 2 days, yes.
Okay. And at some point, you called Child Protective Services.
Yes, ma'am.
So?
Okay. He called Child Protective Service a month later. There were several discrepancies in the allegations made. On September 30th, I received a call from my monitor stating that Mr. Stretch was at the Child Resource and Referrals Office looking for daycare. At that point, he stated that his child got hurt in my home, and that day I called them to come pick up their child immediately, which was not true.
So what?
Okay.
You mean you don't think that they have the right and the obligation to call and report your negligence? Child was clearly hurt at your facility.
Right, and I don't deny that.
When you have 4 babies that you're taking care of, you need an extra pair of hands. You have an absolute right and an obligation to say, I don't think she watched my child well enough. So why are you here?
All right. On that day, the doctor advised him to take pictures and call Child Protective if he felt it was necessary. I think he noticed that the bite marks did not occur in my house, but like you said, it could have happened in my home. Okay, fine. He insinuated...
Listen to me. He didn't bite his daughter.
No. No, it was a child.
And it was a child, and he doesn't have any other children.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyhow, that day, the doctor, he insinuated that the child was hit with knuckles when he called Child Protective Services. And another day, he said that the child looked like she was slapped. So there were several discrepancies I made on what actually...
He doesn't know what happened. It happened on your watch.
Correct.
You want him to do everything right? Is that what you want?
No, I don't feel
Miss
like...
Miss Ward, I don't know why you're here, madam.
All right.
I would keep this very, very... I certainly wouldn't expose this to a national audience. Are you still doing daycare?
No, ma'am.
That's a very good thing. Your case is dismissed.
Ma'am.
That's all. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
He insinuated the child was slap, punch, and the child was not.
You don't get a bruise with a cut in it from laying on a smooth metal button.
There was no signs by the doctor stating that there was any signs of child abuse at all.
I did what I felt I needed to do to protect my daughter, and I'm happy with what she decided.
Cheryl Wind is suing the father of her child, 28-year-old business owner Arthur Harris Jr., for a loan for bail and for throwing a brick through her car window.
Come to order, all rise. Yeah, this is case number 381 on the calendar in the matter of Wynn versus Harris Jr. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Wynn, you and the defendant have a child together. You are no longer a couple, but it is your claim that while you were a couple, Mr. Harris found himself in the unfortunate position of being incarcerated. You bailed him out with a promise that he would pay you back. He paid some back, the bail money, but he still owes you some of that money. He stopped paying you as soon as you separated. And then you claim that he has not been able to handle the separation appropriately and has vandalized your car on 2 occasions. You want him to pay for the windows and the damage to the car. Mr. Harris, while he acknowledges that you did in fact bail him out of prison, you told him that it was a gift, that he need not pay you back, and that he has no clue as to what you're talking about with regard to the vandalizing of your cars, and the police lacked sufficient evidence to charge him, therefore he is not guilty. Is that right, Mr. Harris?
Somewhat, to a certain extent.
So, a couple of questions for you. When was your child born?
December 9th, 2001.
Boy or a girl?
A girl.
Do you visit with the child?
I have 57% custody over her 43%.
Okay. So she spends a great deal of time with you.
Correct. I think she's just jealous of me and my daughter's bond because...
Listen to me. Not Montel. Not interested in what she's jealous about. Do you understand, Mr. Harris?
Yeah.
Not yeah. Yes. Court. Therapist. I am not a therapist. I don't like people well enough to be a therapist. So you have your daughter 57% of the time.
And I recently had to call CPS on Miss Wynn because my daughter comes up with marks on her eyes last week.
You're not listening to me. You think that anybody's listening to you? I'm not listening to a word you're saying. When I start to speak, you stop. We understand that?
See.
Now, what were you incarcerated for that required you being bailed out of jail, Mr. Harris?
I was driving Mrs. Wynn's car, and I got pulled over. And in Mrs. Wynn's car, they found some drugs. But later, it was a misunderstanding. They had to dismiss the case.
Mr. Harris, you want me to believe you, don't you?
You can look in the court documents.
No, you want me to believe you, don't you? I asked you what you were incarcerated for.
And I told you.
The answer is drugs.
Correct.
Okay. Now, is this the first time you were arrested for drugs?
No, in my prior days, I used to get down a little jiggy.
The answer is no.
I used to get down like Jay-Z.
Just the answer is no. You don't want to appear foolish. Mr. Harris, I can guarantee you, sir, don't be a smart aleck with me because I can make you look very, very foolish. I just want to be reasonable and fair with you. I've read the documents you gave me. I've listened to you. Why don't you just try to help yourself by not being a wise guy? Try to help yourself if you can. I don't find you attractive.
Ditto to you.
Okay, good. Well, that's good. Then why don't you just view me as somebody who has the limited responsibility today, Mr. Harris, of making a decision based on the evidence as to whether you owe her for bail money and whether you vandalized her car.
My daughter has
right now, Mr. Harris.
My daughter's totally irrelevant.
Your daughter in this particular court. In this particular court, your daughter's situation is irrelevant. The only thing that's relevant here, Mr. Harris, are 2 things. Whether you owe her for bail and whether you vandalized her cars.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct.
Good. Now, how much was your bail?
30, I don't know. You have to ask her if she did it.
How much was his bail?
Well, see, I went to court for him.
How much was his bail?
$75,000.
And how much did you post?
First, we posted 23, and then I posted personally 3,200.
All I want to know is you personally.
3,200.
You have proof of that?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it, please. Now, tell me how it came about that you posted this bail back in December of 2002.
In December of 2002, he had to go back to court for a bail hearing where they brought it back up because they had reduced it to like 3,500. They brought it back up to 75,000, excuse me. And I wasn't there. But his lawyer called me at home and told me that the bail was raised and that he was incarcerated again and that I would have to be the one to get him out.
Do you recall what the charge was in December of 2002?
It was because of his priors, that they had overlooked that the first time he went to court for the bail reduction hearing. So they overlooked that, so they brought it back into court in December, and that was around the holidays, and my daughter was around 1 then. So I bailed him out with my credit card. His lawyer even picked me up from my house and brought me to the bail bondsman where I used my credit card and bailed him out. And then he brought me to the car that he was driving that day when he went to court, and I took the car home and everything.
Okay. Now,
Oh, sweetie.
you see, Mr. Harris, one of the things that I have to determine when I finish this bail portion of the case is whether or not you have a violent nature, whether you can control yourself, or whether there is truth to the allegation that you vandalized her car. Right now, what you're doing is suggesting to me that you lack the capacity to control yourself. So far, I don't hear, madam, that you made an arrangement with Mr. Harris for this bail to be a loan.
Okay. I have even though it was always understood that he was going to pay me back.
It may have been understood. Understood isn't a contract.
Okay, yeah.
Understood means that you understood it. But when his lawyer called you, his lawyer cannot make a contract with you.
His lawyer?
Only he can make a contract with you.
He did.
Well, then let me hear.
Here's a tape record. I recorded one of our conversations.
Where's the money you owe me? Where's the money you owe me for your bail bond? I'm gonna pretty much need it because you're gonna throw me in jail. I might as well keep it, right? You know what? You told me you would pay me for your stinking bail bond.
Cheryl, I know you for a fact, and that's not you.
You know what? You told me you would pay me back.
I will pay you back, and I told you that.
I'm not gonna pay for your bail bond. I'm never gonna pay for your again. I paid for your for 2 years.
I didn't say that. Did I say that, baby? Listen to me.
No.
Is there anything else there about the bail? Okay. How much did he pay you back?
He's paid me about $700 since.
How has he paid it? In check, cash?
Yeah, usually he'll give me like a money order. He would give me
Show
money
me.
once in a while.
Show me.
Like money orders? He would keep the receipts.
How much money did you give her back? She
I
says
never,
$700.
I never gave her no money for bail because I never had a control over her bailing me out. I never asked her to bail me out.
So that your statement is, Mr. Harris, that you never gave her any money back. She says you gave her $700
No,
back.
I never gave her no money for that. You're correct. She told me it was a gift for being a great father.
Just
and I
answer
can
my
do nothing
question,
about
Mr.
that.
Harris. Don't you understand? My mouth is moving again. So what you're saying is you gave her back no money towards the $3,200 in bail. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Good. Good. Then you owe her $3,200 because that's what you said. That's what you said on the tape, that you owed her for the bail. Now, let's get to the damage to the car. Your car was damaged on 2 separate occasions.
Right.
Give me the dates.
May 18th and September 1st of 2004.
How was the car damaged on May 18th, 2004?
I have a picture here to show you. The driver's side mirror was broke off. The windshield was shattered. There was multiple dents in the car, on top of the car by the sunroof, on both doors on the driver's side.
Yes.
I found a big heart-shaped rock right next to the car.
Okay. Now, what proof do you have that Mr. Harris did this damage?
Oh, I saw him. We saw him. It was over at, we were at a family friend's house. And after I noticed that it happened, my sister was with me. She saw it, and she ran back into the house. And then they all came outside. And while I was standing there looking at the car, he came by in our Lexus. And he
So you didn't see him do it?
Yes.
So you didn't see him?
He came by.
Listen to me. So you didn't see him do it?
I didn't see him. I saw him come down the street with his lights off and come down and come back around, and he rolled his window down and threw something else at me while I was out there with all my friends.
So you didn't see him do this. Now, on September 1st, how was your car damaged?
There was a big hole in the back window of my mom's car. The rock was inside, and there was like a cigarette butt, not the butt, but the regular end, and it reeked of gasoline. I wasn't there when it happened, but the people that did see it happen.
Where were you at?
Mr. Harris.
Where were
Mr.
you at,
Harris.
Miss Wynn? Tell them where
Mr.
you
Harris.
at.
The people that...
Mr. Harris, just a second.
Yes.
Mr. Harris, how old are you,
You should know where I was at.
I'm 28.
Where are your parents?
My parents?
Yeah, your
They're
mother.
probably at their home.
You have a mother who's alive?
Yes, ma'am. Father,
Where does
too.
she live? I'm speaking. Where does she live?
That's personal. I don't want to tell
In
that
what-
on camera.
In what state does she live?
That's personal, too. I don't want to put that on camera.
Fine. Listen to me, Mr. Harris. There is a very strong probability, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Bird, would you go over and take those papers away from him? Because I'm talking to him.
Well, I'm looking for this paper. There you go.
Thanks.
You're welcome, boss.
There's a very strong probability that even though you don't wish to divulge and I don't wish to press it where your parents live, that they're going to be watching you. I feel sorry for them because you're acting like such a fool, sir. I really do. The only thing that I can say in your favor is I've read the report, and the report seems to indicate that you're trying to be a good father to your daughter, which suggests to me that at least part of you is a salvageable human being. But you are such a wise guy, and you're so used to getting over, and you're so used to acting like a fool that you can't even control yourself in court, which is probably one of the reasons why you're in court and in trouble so often.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today, claims ex-boyfriend Arthur Harris Jr. owes for bail money after he was arrested for the possession of drugs. Cheryl also claims Arthur vandalized her car on 2 separate occasions.
I don't have to, Ms. Wynn, go into the 2 incidents with the car. There is probably very little issue that he was responsible for the damage to your car. But you are suing him, and the total amount that you are suing him for is $3,100. Now, you claim the bail was $3,200, which is supported by the evidence, but you say that he paid you back $700. Mr. Harris, because he's such a wise guy, has sworn under oath that he paid you back nothing. I don't think that you are responsible for his bail, and I don't think that even at that time you were dumb enough to say, I'm posting your bail because you're such a great father. Be that as it may, I have a tape that I believe where he said that he owes you this money. And since he swore under oath that he didn't pay you back the $700, even though you say he did, I'm entering a judgment in your favor for exactly what you are requesting, which is $3,100, which more than covers the damage to your cars. Do we understand each other?
Yes, we do.
And maybe Mr. Harris will learn that it's not always a good idea to be a wise guy, especially in court. That's all. Step out.
All you are excused. You may step out.
Goodbye, Miss Wynn. She's mad because for 2 years, I took her money. I took all of her money for 2 years and bought 3 homes with it.
I'm family, take care of the baby, take care of the house, go to school, make money.
Then when I got tired of her, I dumped her on her butt.
And then he just does whatever he wants.
I'm in jail. I can't make her call me.
He can't even talk to me like a real person. He has to always talk down on me.
So if she wants to bail me out, she's just doing her job. She's what she's trained to do.
That's why he's having such a hard time letting me go.
She's really crazy, so it ain't nothing.
I pray to God that he grows up for the sake of our child.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of McKnight versus McKnight. Step forward, please.
18-year-old student Ashley McKnight is suing her sister, 21-year-old Latoria Tori McKnight, for money loaned to pay her rent. Ashley says Tori was in jail and needed help paying her bills.
What's your first name?
Ashley.
This is your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your first name?
Latoria.
According to your complaint, your sister went to jail. And you agreed that while she was in jail, you would take care of the bills and the rent on her apartment, with the agreement that she would pay you back when she got out of jail.
Yes, ma'am.
Your sister in her answer says that you and your boyfriend decided to stay in the apartment and you trashed it, so she's not responsible for anything. What did you go to jail for and when?
Oh, I was on probation for a misdemeanor, for having a traffic ticket and not paying on it. And see, they put you on probation until you pay the traffic ticket off. So I was on probation for that, and I was late paying on my probation fines. And so my probation officer, she took a warrant out on me October the 8th, but I didn't find out. She done took the warrant out on me until a week later. So then when I went to jail, I stayed 2 weeks.
Which 2 weeks?
After October the 8th, when I found out I had the warrant, that was a week. And after that week was up, I stayed in jail 2 weeks, and I came home October the 26th.
Now, did you ask your sister to pay your rent?
See, how it went was, when I went to jail that Friday, I thought I was supposed to be staying just a couple of days. Oh, I thought I was supposed to just been staying a couple of days. I thought I was coming home that Monday. But I ended up staying 2 weeks. And so when I called home, I was like, keep my apartment up for me. And she said, we'll do that, we'll do that. So the whole time I'm thinking, my rent paid. You know, when I come home, I have a place to come home to. Well, that Monday, after that 2 weeks, my probation officer, he was like, you just pay a certain amount of money and you can come home. So I'm like, okay, you know, I'm happy now. I'm coming home now. You know, I done got all hyped up. I'm telling everybody I'm coming home, I'm coming home, I'm coming home. So I called my aunt, and she paid my probation officer to go ahead and pay my ticket off. That way I can come home. So when I came home, I didn't think she was going to be mad about paying my rent when she stayed there 3 weeks.
Well, just a minute. How could she stay there 3 weeks if you told me you were only in jail for 2 weeks?
I was in jail 2 weeks, but the week that I wasn't at home, I didn't stay there. So
where'd you stay?
I stayed like in hotels. I stayed at my mama's house.
Oh, don't give me baloney.
Your Honor, I stayed at her house 2 weeks. On the 15th, Tori was in jail, and she called me and asked me, could I pay her rent for her? She told me her rent was $230, and I said, pay your rent? She was like, yes. She said, you can stay there as long as you promise me you keep my bills up and pay my rent. So I said, okay. So at the time, she talked to a probation officer, and he said if she come up with like $500 cash, then she'll get out of jail. So when she was calling me that time, I had my cell phone. She was calling me on my cell phone. When she called somebody, called me on three-way, asked me, have I asked this person for some money? Have I asked that person for some money?
You and your boyfriend stayed in her apartment.
Yeah.
Where had you been staying?
Well, I live with my mother.
So you moved out of your mother's house in with your boyfriend into her apartment?
No. No, it's not like we moved in like that. I live with my mother like he lived at his mama's house. But she told me I could stay at her apartment if I pay all her bills for her. So, I mean...
That's nice. That's not a loan.
No, she told me she would pay me back. She told me her rent was $230. When I talked to her site manager, she told me her rent was $350, and it's a $55 late fee because it was late. So she wanted $405. So then they took out a warrant or something, whatever her site manager did, and I got this paper stating that I had to pay LaToya rent by the 26th, so everything on their premises will be theirs.
I got it. So you paid the $405?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, she came out of jail on October 26th.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's the same day you paid the $405?
Yes, ma'am.
And then she told you you had to leave?
Yes, ma'am.
So you left?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if she hadn't paid the $405, you would have owed the $405 plus November's rent.
Yes, ma'am. No, she would have been put out. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, she only stayed in the apartment 2 weeks. Why should you pay your rent for that 2 weeks?
She stayed in my place 3 weeks. I got carpet damage. All them all them bills still coming.
Show me. Proof. Proof.
Well, I couldn't counterclaim for that.
Show me proof. Show me pictures.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Show me something.
Y'all don't have anything.
Well, that's what you think you were coming here for today. Your answer said that not only did she live there, but she caused all kinds of damage. She trashed your apartment. You came in, the place was a mess. The carpet was stained. The walls were... So for that, you have proof. You take a picture. Everybody's got a camera. What kind of camera do you have?
I don't have a camera.
You have a friend who has a camera.
No, I do not.
What's your name?
Charmaine Greer.
How old are you?
22.
You have any children?
2.
How old are they?
1 and 5 months.
Is she your friend?
Mm-hmm.
How many pictures do you have of your children? A whole bunch?
Yes.
Yes, because you have a what?
Camera.
Good. Right. See? Instead of asking her to come to court today, you should have asked her to borrow her camera. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $405. That's all. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
If she feel like I owe my sister, then I owe her, but I don't feel like I owe my sister.
I was trying to help out. I mean, I was going to keep her apartment up and everything going on.
My carpet was dirty and I had trash everywhere.
Yeah, it might have been a trash bag in the kitchen, but I mean, trash do be in the kitchen.
Document processor Cindy Evans is suing fellow motorist, 26-year-old payment researcher Shertara Zachary for damage to her vehicle. Shertara says Cindy should be suing her sister.
Yes, this is case number 412 in the calendar in the matter of Evans versus Zachary. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Evans, sometime last year, according to your complaint, you were in an automobile accident and your car was totaled.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is your claim that the accident was the fault of the other driver and that the defendant, Miss Zachary, is that other driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Zachary says she doesn't know you, she's never seen you before, and if your car was in an accident, it wasn't her fault. She had nothing to do with it. That's your defense. Is that right? Is that right?
Yes.
When was the accident?
On May the 14th of 2003.
Where?
Lakeview Terrace. Lakeview Terrace.
Which is in what?
California. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Anyway, I was going one way, and somebody in a Ford Bronco came out of a driveway in front of me. Wasn't even watching where she was going, and I had nowhere to go. I wound up plowing into her car, and it wound up totaling the front end of my car.
So the car, the Ford Bronco, was coming out of a driveway?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that car damaged?
A little bit. It had a little bit of paint on it, but it was a big SUV.
And what kind of car were you driving?
1988 Toyota Corolla SR5, 2-door sport coupe.
Small car.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this the first time you've seen the defendant since the accident?
Yes.
Now, after the cars collided, what did you do? Did you get out of your car?
Slowly, yeah, I did. I got out.
And the driver of the other car?
She got out. And
did you exchange information?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
So at some point you had to have been face to face?
Yes, ma'am. That's correct.
Do you have a copy of the police report?
I have a copy of a little form that the police gave
I'd like to
us,
see it, please.
plus the information that she wrote down for me.
Is what you're telling me that the defendant wrote out her name and her address?
Yes, ma'am.
So after this happened, tell me your insurance company did what?
Well, first of all, I only have liability on my car, which of course I've learned since then, and now I've got uninsured motorist on my car. But they told me to protect me, that they would try to go after her after my explaining how the whole accident happened, and they deemed that it was not my fault. And they did everything they could to try to go after her and contact her, and they were unsuccessful. So they eventually had to close the case. And I kept trying to contact her based on the numbers that I had on the paper that I gave you, and left messages, that type of thing. Never spoke with her. Then I got a call from somebody, a lady, left a message on my voicemail telling me that she had died. It was about a month and a half later.
And who had died?
The person who claims to be the one who hit my car. First of all, I need to clarify something. It was a different name than what this defendant's going under.
What do you mean it was a different name?
Oh, well, I have found out that it's not the same person, that the name that was given to me is not the same person that's in this room.
Well, what is your first name?
Shatara.
Shatara. And Starwishi, Eddington. Who is that?
That's my sister.
Bird, I'd like you to take a piece of paper, hand the defendant a pencil and a paper for me, would you please? Miss Zachary, I want you to print your sister's name. Print it, quickly. Full name. And I want you to print 12 bill. Now I want you to write it. And her address. Bill. Could you hand that to me, please? Thank you. Okay, so you tried to contact her.
Yes,
you
ma'am.
couldn't. You got a call from some lady that said that the person who you were trying to reach was dead.
Yes, that's correct.
And what brought you to the defendant?
Well, I gave up thinking I had no other place to go, and then about 3 months ago, I got an actual call from Starwishi, Eddington. She had got notification from the California DMV about the accident.
She had gotten what?
Notification that her license was going to be suspended, because I had reported the accident to the state like I was supposed to. And she eventually got my information to contact me. And she told me that, you know, it was not her, that she even had a letter from her sister saying that the vehicle was hers, that she was not involved in the accident. She wanted to meet with me for me to see for myself that it was not her, which we did do that. I could see from the moment I saw her that she was not the person I got into the accident with. She also produced a picture with 3 girls in it, and I happened to point out the person I had the accident with, and she told me it was Shatara. So at that point...
Okay, I'll hear you.
Okay.
The only thing I have to say is that it was my sister. It was my car. I let my sister use it. She got into the accident with my sister. And the only thing that I can think of her blaming it on me is because she needs her license for her job.
Can you think of any reason why Miss Evans would identify you as the person she had the accident with?
I don't know. I look just like my sister. I wish I would have brought a picture. We look alike. A lot alike.
You look very much alike?
Very much alike.
So
with
it
same
would be
height
easy,
and everything.
So it would be easy to confuse the two of you.
It is. We're the same height, same hair color, same complexion. We're the same.
Are you the same age?
She is 2 years older than me.
Your Honor?
Yes.
I do have additional evidence, and I do have a witness I'd like to produce if I can.
I'll be happy to hear the witness and see the evidence.
Who is it?
हर बंदा सार पे मातम करे ओए उठी देख अकबरा सहरा दे विच तेरा बुढ़ड़ा प्यू तन आ रह गए साजाद आजाद गश विच है सजदे दा वकात करीब आ गए इंदा लाशा जैसी सर ते मातम कुछ न दसा किवें बाज अकबर पई निभदी है शबीर फिरा या दराद सुना सारा पिंडाल सर ते मातम जी जी बाबा बीबी अभी कहीं जो नहीं परचाया मैं शाम वनने मैनू दसा किवें बाज अकबर पे निभदी है शबीर फिरा यो दर्द सुना फिरा दे मुखातबो क्या दी आबे हमशीर दी चादर दे गलबाई पाई यो दर्द सुना जितने अगर कोई मुगल पुरे वाला बंदा बैठे मेरे जुमलियां की जवान ताईद कर सन भाई अल्लाह की रजा मुक गई मेरे हिस्से दी मजलस अगले जुमले दी दूजी 70 ते मुगल पुरा जिन्हें मातम करने विखाए मेरे पास बीबी आगे हुसैन पुत्र ते गई पालिया में बीबी आदि हुसैन तू अकबर नु औखा चाहे मैं खेमे दे दर ते वेदी रही दूजी 70 सुने जे मातम करने में खेमे दे दर ते वेदी रही हुसैन आदन क्या डिठे आलिया रो के आदि ओ मकतल तू घेना खयाम ताई तै औखा सफारा निभाया है तै कुटुरदा जी बाबा मातम करने होते कुटुरदा देख के लगदा जिवें लाश ने लाश क्यों चाया है बीबिया दिए हन लब हल्दे करना है हन लब हल्दे